You had a couple of kids. I don't know how old they were at this time, but how did you balance all of that?
Well, let's go back to how sweet and dear my mama was. And my mom and my dad, I could have never have been able to do it because I was pregnant. When I first started with Vince, I was pregnant with Max. Yeah. He's my youngest. Priscilla is my oldest. She was 3 at the time. In fact, I took her on the road because she had not started school, so I took her on the road when we'd have long trips. And she traveled. I loved it. That was another reminder to the promoter, to the wrestlers and everybody else. It's like, hey, I'm not out here looking at y'all's bodies. This is a job. I got kids to raise.
Right.
So I took her, and then, but I was pregnant with Max, and things hadn't, where I wasn't on the road or the ring wasn't being used that much. So I had a baby, like in May of '85, and then, within 3 months after that, I was back out on the road, and my mom was taking care of him. And again, like in 1986, when I first started in the ring, and they gave me the announce because of the radio disc jockey, they were all with me. And so that was another reason. My mom and my dad and my kids would be going in the motorhome. So it was a family affair. And later on, I would fly my kids to the shows, like if I was through, and they were at television a few times, but I would, on the house shows, it was much easier to have them around and not so much of the, ongoings of the production. And they would, from the moment I've got a picture here where we're all together back in a dressing room, and I'd dress them up, and they were to run and get the Cokes and the coffees for the wrestlers all the time. I was like, and it's yes, ma'am, and yes, sir. And it started when Liz was on the road and in the dressing room. That's who they hung out with. I mean, Liz was great. She loved kids. She was a sweetheart.